Before you refresh your bank account, before you click a message that says claim your $2,000, and before you tell your family that a new stimulus check is on the way, please take one calm breath with me. I know why this story is moving so quickly. Groceries are expensive. Rent is heavy. The electric bill does not wait. Medication, car repairs, insurance, credit card payments, and the cost of simply keeping a household going can make $2,000 sound like a lifeline. And when people see the words, Trump says $2,000 stimulus checks, and the approval window is now, it can feel like help has finally arrived. But in today's video, we are not going to let a viral headline make decisions for us. We are going to separate a proposal from a payment, a political promise from a signed law, and real government information from the scams that often appear the moment Americans start hoping for relief. And before we go any further, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This channel is here to help everyday Americans understand money news, taxes, Social Security, retirement, benefits, banking changes, and government announcements without panic, confusing jargon, or fake promises. Subscribe now, because the safest people in times like these are not the people who believe every post they see. They are the people who know where to check, what questions to ask, and when to wait for an official answer. Let's start with the most important point. As of July 7th, 2026, there is no published IRS or Treasury approval window telling Americans how to apply for a nationwide $2,000 payment, who qualifies, or when deposits will arrive. There is no verified IRS application that you need to complete tonight, no official deadline that expires at midnight, and no confirmed payment schedule telling families exactly when $2,000 will land in their bank accounts. That does not mean people invented the entire story out of thin air. President Trump did publicly discuss the idea of giving Americans a tariff-funded dividend of around $2,000, aimed at middle-income and lower-income people rather than high-income households. The White House also said the administration was exploring ways to make the idea happen. But exploring, proposing, and committed to an idea are not the same thing as Congress passing a law and the Treasury Department starting payments. That difference matters more than many headlines admit. A president can talk about a policy, promote a policy, ask lawmakers to support a policy, and direct advisors to study a policy. But sending hundreds of billions of dollars in new federal payments normally requires legal authority, funding rules, eligibility standards, and an actual system for the Treasury Department and the IRS to follow. Americans saw this during the pandemic. The economic impact payments were not simply announced in a speech and deposited the next morning. Congress passed legislation. The rules were written. The IRS used tax information and benefit records, and then payments began. That is why a real payment program leaves a very clear trail: a bill, a signed law, official IRS notices, Treasury guidance, eligibility rules, and instructions that can be checked on government websites. Right now, the safest way to understand the $2,000 story is this: it is a proposal, not a confirmed check. It may be discussed again. It may change in amount. It may be tied to income limits, tax returns, children, or filing status if lawmakers ever approve it. It may become a tax credit instead of a direct deposit. It may never become law at all. Those details are not small print. They are the entire difference between a real benefit and a rumor. So please do not make financial plans based on a payment that has not been authorized. Do not delay rent. Do not skip a prescription refill. Do not borrow money expecting a deposit. And do not let anyone pressure you into paying a fee because they say they can unlock your share. Some viewers are asking, but didn't Trump say the money would come from tariffs? Yes, that is the central idea behind the proposed dividend. Tariffs are taxes charged on imported goods. The government can collect tariff revenue, but the question is not only whether money comes in. The question is whether there is enough money, whether the tariffs remain legally available, whether Congress agrees to distribute the money this way, and who would receive it. A $2,000 payment for a huge number of Americans would cost an enormous amount. That is why analysts, lawmakers, and budget experts have raised major questions about whether tariff revenue could support a program on that scale. A headline may make it sound simple: collect tariff money, mail out checks. In real life, federal finances, legal authority, and congressional approval are much more complicated. And this is where the phrase "approval window is now" can become dangerous. An approval window is something you normally see when a real program has official rules. For example, a tax credit may have a filing deadline. A benefit may have an enrollment period. A state program may tell residents to apply by a certain date. But for this $2,000 national payment, there is no official federal application window that ordinary Americans can rely on right now. If somebody sends you a text, email, Facebook message, YouTube comment, or WhatsApp link saying, "Trump approved your $2,000, apply here before it closes," treat it as a red flag. Government agencies do not ask you to pay a release fee, buy gift cards, send cryptocurrency, or give your social security number and banking password through an unexpected message. Please listen closely to this next part, especially if you are helping a parent, grandparent, neighbor, or friend who does not spend much time online. Scammers understand hope. They know that when people are worried about bills, they are more likely to click before they think. They create websites that look official, use patriotic colors, copy government logos, and write things like final approval, limited claim period, priority senior payment, or instant stimulus deposit. Then they ask for personal information. One click can lead to identity theft, a drained account, or a false tax return filed in your name. The safest rule is simple. Never use a link from a surprise message to claim government money. Type irs.gov directly into your browser yourself, use your official IRS online account, or call a verified government number found on an official website. It is also important to understand that the IRS has warned Americans in the past about fake stimulus messages. The IRS does not send surprise messages demanding sensitive financial details in order to release a payment. Real notices are not written in all capital letters saying, "Act now or lose $2,000. Real government communication gives you a way to verify information independently. If a payment program were officially approved, the IRS and Treasury would publish clear details that news outlets, tax professionals, banks, libraries, senior centers, and elected officials could all verify. You would not need a stranger in a comment section to tell you the secret code. Now let's talk about who might qualify if a future proposal ever becomes law, because this is another place where false certainty spreads. At this moment, no final eligibility list exists for a new $2,000 national tariff dividend. Nobody can honestly tell you that every senior will get it, every Social Security recipient will get it, every veteran will get it, or every taxpayer will get it. Past federal payments used income thresholds, filing status, dependent rules, and other conditions. A future program could follow a completely different formula. It might exclude higher income households. It might include dependents. It might require a recent tax return. It might use Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA, or railroad retirement records for certain people. Until legislation and IRS guidance exist, those are questions, not answers. That means people on Social Security should not assume the payment is coming automatically. People receiving SSI or SSDI should not assume they have to fill out an online form. Veterans should not assume the Department of Veterans Affairs is already sending a special deposit. Retirees should not assume this is part of a regular monthly check. And working families should not assume the money will be added to a tax refund. All of those claims may appear online, but none should be treated as confirmed unless an official program says so. The biggest protection against misinformation is learning to say 5 words. Show me the official source. There is another point that gets mixed up in these videos. A $2,000 tariff dividend proposal is not the same thing as the older pandemic stimulus payments, and it is not the same thing as a tax refund. The IRS says the first, second, and third economic impact payments from the pandemic era have already been issued, and the old Get My Payment tool is no longer open for checking a new round of those payments. In other words, a video using images of old pandemic checks does not prove that a fresh $2,000 payment has been approved today. People sometimes see a payment amount from years ago, a tax refund headline, a state rebate, or a child savings program, and assume it is a new federal stimulus check for everyone. Those are different programs with different rules. For example, some Americans may be hearing about tax changes that increase refunds for certain households. Others may see state-level rebates, utility assistance, property tax relief, energy assistance, or local benefit programs. Those can be real, but they are not the same thing as a nationwide $2,000 federal payment. A larger refund is not automatically a stimulus check. A state rebate is not automatically a Trump tariff dividend. A payment connected to a child account or another targeted program is not automatically money for every adult. When you hear about money from the government, pause and ask 3 questions. Which agency is sending it? What law or program authorizes it, and who exactly is eligible? Let's make this practical. Here's what you should do today, without panic and without spending a dollar. First, check whether your mailing address and direct deposit information are current with the agencies that actually pay you money. That may mean the IRS for tax refunds, the Social Security Administration for benefits, or the VA if you receive veterans benefits. Second, protect your online accounts with strong passwords and 2-factor authentication where available. Third, save official websites in your browser instead of relying on social media links. Fourth, keep your most recent tax return and any important benefit notices in a safe place, because those documents may matter if a real future program uses tax or benefit information. And fifth, tell one other person about scam protection. A 2-minute conversation can save someone thousands of dollars. Think about the person sitting at the kitchen table right now, watching this video with a stack of envelopes nearby. Maybe they have worked for 40 years. Maybe they raised children, served in the military, drove a truck, cared for patients, taught in a classroom, ran a small business, or kept a household together through hard times. When that person hears there might be $2,000 coming, it is not just about a number. It might mean catching up on the gas bill, replacing a broken refrigerator, paying for dental work, buying school supplies for a grandchild, taking care of a car that is needed to get to work. That is exactly why we must be honest. People deserve clear information, not emotional bait. So here is the calm truth. The idea is being talked about, but your $2,000 is not a confirmed deposit today. There is no official nationwide claim window you should rush to beat. There is no verified sign-up link you need from a video description, text message, or comment. And there is no reason to give your personal information to anyone who says they can speed up your payment. If a real program is approved in the future, the information will not be hidden. It will be announced through official government channels, widely reported by credible outlets, and explained in writing by the IRS and Treasury. For those of you asking what a real announcement would look like, watch for certain signs. You would see the name of the legislation or executive authority being used. You would see a clear statement of who qualifies and who does not. You would see a payment amount and whether it is per person, per couple, or per dependent. You would see income limits. You would see a payment date or a rollout schedule. You would see whether people who do not file taxes must take action. And you would see a fraud warning from the IRS telling people how the agency will contact them. Until you see those things in official sources, do not call it approved. Let's also clear up a common misunderstanding about direct deposit. Having your bank information on a past tax return does not mean that any future payment is guaranteed to arrive automatically. The government would have to create a program, determine eligibility, and decide how to use available records. Some people may have changed banks, moved, changed filing status, or had identity issues. Others may not have filed recently. The process would need rules for those situations. So please do not rely on anyone who promises you will get it this Friday because you filed taxes last year. Nobody outside the government's official process can know that. And do not be embarrassed if you believed a headline before watching this. These messages are designed to feel urgent. They use words such as approved, final, confirmed, deadline, and limited time because urgency stops people from checking. It happens to smart people, careful people, and hardworking people every day. The important thing is what you do next. Slow down, verify, protect your information, share accurate news with the people you love. That is how you take back control from the rumor machine. I also want to speak directly to seniors and people living on fixed incomes. You may see creators saying that seniors are first in line, that Social Security recipients are guaranteed $2,000, or that retirement beneficiaries have a special approval date. Please do not accept those claims without an official statement. No confirmed national $2,000 program has published special senior eligibility rules. If you receive a regular benefit, keep managing your budget based on the payments you know are scheduled, not an unconfirmed bonus. And if someone calls saying they need your Medicare number, Social Security number, or bank routing number to release a senior stimulus, hang up. Then call the agency through a trusted official number if you are concerned. The same warning goes for military families and veterans. You may see posts claiming that veterans, active duty service members, or military retirees have a separate fast-track payment. A proposal discussed in public is not the same as a VA or Defense Department benefit. Verify every claim through the VA, Defense Department, IRS, Treasury, or another official agency. Do not give documents to someone on Facebook. Do not let a caller remote control your computer. Do not send a photo of your military ID. Real agencies have official processes, and they do not need a stranger's urgent request to protect your eligibility. Maybe you're asking, what should I do with the possibility of a future check? The healthiest answer is to treat it as possible news, not available money. Keep an eye on official updates, but keep your financial plan grounded in what you have today. If you are struggling with bills, contact your utility company before falling behind. Ask about payment arrangements. Check whether your state or local government has verified assistance programs. Speak with a qualified tax professional or nonprofit credit counselor if you need help sorting priorities. For seniors, local area agencies on aging and community organizations may know about legitimate food, energy, housing, or prescription assistance. Those steps may be less exciting than a viral promise, but they are real tools you can use now. The coming weeks and months may bring new statements, new legislation, or new changes. If that happens, we will look at the exact wording, the dates, the official eligibility requirements, and the safest way to check status. We will not rely on a screenshot with no source. We will not call a rumor breaking news just because it is trending. And we will not tell you to click a suspicious link. The best update is not the loudest update. It is the one you can verify. So let's bring this home. President Trump has discussed a possible tariff-funded payment of around $2,000. That discussion has created real interest, real hope, and a lot of misleading social media claims. But as of now, there is no officially published nationwide $2,000 stimulus check program with a confirmed deposit date or an official federal approval window for Americans to use. The safe move is to watch official sources, protect your personal information, and refuse to make money decisions based on a promise that has not become a clearly explained program. Your patience will not cause you to lose a real benefit. Legitimate programs publish timelines and procedures, and the government gives people a way to verify eligibility without fear, secret links, or payment demands. Please share this video with someone who may be worried, excited, or confused about these $2,000 check posts. A family member might be one scam muscle away from giving away private information. And please subscribe and turn on the bell, because when there is a real update from Congress, the IRS, Treasury, or the White House, you deserve to hear exactly what it means in plain American English. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. And remember, when it comes to government money, do not chase the headline. Chase the official source.